Hello and welcome to 10 Days of Gratitude. I'm your host, Mia Saenz, and in this segment, I'm very excited to bring you Victoria Wynn. Many of you know that I adore her project called The Lies I Tell Myself, and I also adore this woman. And I'm growing to love this sister of mine more and more every day. I haven't told her this yet, but I'm going to tell you all in front of her, so let's watch her. I see so much love coming out of her. Not just gratitude, which is why we have her on here too, but so much love. She's just moving in love faster than a rocket almost. It's really a very beautiful journey. So I'd like you to watch her and follow her work because she is really incredible. She's an incredible woman. So thank you for being here with us, Victoria.
Thank you. Thank you for unexpected teary eyes.
It's wonderful to have you. So you're welcome, honey. And I'd like you to share with us a little bit about the Lies Project, how it started, because that's really a magnificent transformation beginning within you, how you wouldn't accept lies anymore. So share with us about that.
So the Lies I Tell Myself project did not start as a business. There's no intention whatsoever as for a business. It was me trying to figure out what was going on. If I'm educated, I'm so witty, I'm so witty and beautiful. It's just like I have qualities of honesty, intellect. I had some stuff going for me, but my life was a mess. It was absolutely financially a mess. It was a mess with the men that I was attracting. It was a mess with my confidence and my self-worth. I have body image challenges. So in all these different areas, it was so out of alignment with how other people saw me. Do you have people like that where you see they're brilliant, but they don't get it? And my answer to that is it's the lies that they're telling themselves. And I got that answer because for me, I finally just said, why? Why me? But not in a victim-y, why me, universe? I really wanted to know why. What is going on? This moment of true asking and questioning. And then I literally saw the words, the lies I tell myself, right in front of my face. And that was wait, what? Wait, so I just started challenging each lie. So because I'm a single mom of 5 kids, a good man might be interested in me? Wait a minute. So I am worthy and valuable of to be treated with respect and to have a career where I can make a living and take care of my kids. And it took some time. I wrote down every single lie. And at the time, at first, you might not know that it's a lie. But any negative thought that you have, write it down anyways. And then see if there's a flip side. The truth is, because I'm this single mom with my 5 children, I know how to love compassionately. I know how to serve. I know how to sacrifice. I know how to manage a household like a business, and then wrap that in warmth. There's so many benefits. There's so many beautiful truths. And here I was looking at the ugly lies. And so I have since turned it into my life's movement and a coaching business, along with online videos and courses and things, because it's so important to me that people see their value, men and women. This is not just all female or all male. I haven't found one person that hasn't said to me, yeah, I lie to myself, from men that have, or men and women that are extremely wealthy, to married couples that have been married for decades. There's always something when we just ask within. Mm-hmm. So, and I still, every day, I look and look and look, and I'm just kind of polishing things. It was a total mess before. Now I'm just over here, no, over here. Just polishing and fine tuning, and that's our journey.
It is.
It's not a perfection thing, but fine tuning, yeah.
That journey, isn't it fun? isn't it fun to tweak things and go, wait a minute, I just got a thought there that's
Yeah.
not right.
Yeah, so sometimes fun, and sometimes I would use other adjectives. It's fun when I figure it out and the light bulb goes on. But,
Right.
in the moment, we're just like in the muck. Like, you have a bad breakup. You go through a divorce and think, I'm a failure. Like, how did I not make this work? Like, I did my best, So things like, I'm a failure, I'm not lovable, it goes on and on. So, yeah, once you start tapping into it, then it's fun because we're empowered. And that's the fun part, for sure.
And life can totally change when we do that to, let's say, a breakup. Instead of a breakup is, oh my God, I'm worthless, I'm no good, I've messed up again, to when you do work on yourself, it may start to look like this. It may start to look like this had its purpose and it no longer does. It doesn't serve me and it doesn't serve him. So I'm moving on because of this. Instead of going into the years of, oh my God, what did I do? This is what I love about this work, is that it just cuts through the crap and cuts through the BS, and boom, you're like, instead of, it being this really long, slow process being slid through a long mud tunnel, you're shot out like a rocket and you're like, okay, I'm ready for the next experience.
Yeah. Yeah. And so if you're okay with this call, I was actually thinking about delving into the romance side of things. When it comes to gratitude. So I know we hadn't talked about it.
No, we haven't, but that's okay.
But I'm like, we could get juicy, because I think some of the times it can be really, really a challenge for people to find gratitude is in those divorces, those breakups. And so I thought I would share with you why I look beaming, happy, and truly feel that way after ending an abusive, relationship. Where I was, building a home and building a life with this person. And now when I look back, I thought we could get into the shifts out of victimhood and into empowerment. And it's certainly from gratitude.
Right.
Like you were saying.
All right, take it away, baby girl.
Oh, boy. Well, ask me a juicy question. How about that?
Okay, all right. So when we break up with someone, or when we know it's time to move on, we're not doing it because, well, sometimes people do it because they hate them, but or they've grown to that. Then you've stayed in way too long. But our heart wants to still love that person, but the transition to not having them in our life can be difficult. Was that a good question?
What's the question?
Work with me on it, sister.
Okay, so I would say maybe the question is, how can you stay in a loving space with someone that where the relationship just no longer serves you? And yeah, we'll get clear on it. As we talk it through. It'll, we'll hit the nail on the head. But for now, I think that mistake that I have made, if we want to go over like some big mistakes and common mistakes that I see in clients as well, is one that I made, which is feeling like I'm selfish versus self-interest. Selfishness being me, and you don't matter. I'm above. Like there's this above and below thing going on. Whereas self-interest it's like self-love. So sometimes it's in our best interest and it's our self-interest to move out of a relationship. And that does not mean you have to stop loving the person. I think that's also a big lie that we tell ourselves, that we have to stop loving this person. Even with my run-in with abuse, there is a part of me that loves him. It's not in a romantic sense, though, anymore. But it's from a human standpoint, that I know I don't look at it as he's lower than me. I look at it as we're all humans here. And especially with all the things going on in our world, I think that's important to be focusing on, that we are all human, and hatred is that's selfish. So if we're going to talk about self-interest, then we need to raise our level of self-love. And then when we love ourselves more, suddenly I'm not so angry at you, while I'm driving on the road. And but I do tell clients that it's really, really normal and okay to continue loving that former partner, as time goes on. But do they get to be in your life in a romantic sense and in your heart that way? That's up to you to decide. But usually if they're talking to me, they figured that out, mm-hmm. that no, that doesn't work. So
and it's very, very cool about relationships and where we want to take them on a personal level. Because really, we're here to experience love. We're here to experience growth. And when we look at life like that, instead of they hurt me, they abused me, they did this, when we step out of that, we heal so much faster. It's that dirty laundry, dirty garbage, dirty, like, oh my God, I just saw something funny in my head. When you go into a bathroom at night, like at a club or something, and you go to the restroom and you get up and you walk out, and all of a sudden people are staring at you, and you see that your foot has a huge pile of, massive amount of toilet paper following you down the way. So that is what we can have in our life. We can either have a relationship that looks like that piece of toilet paper hanging onto our foot, or we can have the relationship with ourself and our experience where we don't drag that with us, where we come out all graceful and beautiful and clean. So isn't that interesting how we...
Yeah. And let me add to your toilet paper, scenario. And if that happens, I think that not being embarrassed and shameful about it, mm-hmm. and just laughing at it, or, embracing it. Like, for a while, I was really embarrassed that I got into that relationship. I felt a lot of shame for that. Like, how could I do this? Like, I thought I was beyond this. And, once I started letting go of the shame, it allowed that space for gratitude for those lessons. I think you and I are on the same page. So rather than looking at a divorce, a breakup from a boyfriend or girlfriend, as taking it as our self-worth, a total hit in our self-worth, but just looking at, well, what are the lessons that I've learned? And if we don't do that, look at the lessons, guess what we're going to attract again, right? If we ever wonder, what is with that pattern? Well,
exactly.
Take a little bit deeper look at the lessons. And usually it's because it can be a really tough accountability check for people. And that has included myself. And so I have attracted, there was a pattern. And after this last relationship, I said, all right, enough. I get to look at what the pattern is. And it took humility and I've got work to do in this area. And it's so interesting though. So as I really took a deep look into the lessons and found my gratitude, I don't attract people like that at all anymore. That is just like, yay, yay. And it's not to say like this person is a bad person, but for me and my personality it's just no longer served my life at all. So
now one thing that I've noticed about you, because you and I have known each other for a long time, it's not, we met on Facebook and we've chatted, and I've loved to interview you probably more than just about anyone, because you're always sparkly and you're creating, and I love creators. I'm a creator.
Yeah.
But I've noticed this huge beauty within you. Of course, I talked about how you're expressing so much love, but you do everything, and of course, it's no wonder we're friends. You do everything. Oh, and I also wanted to say, and we're friends in person too. Yeah.
We met each other.
Yeah, we met each other, 2 years ago, I think it was. It was great in person, yeah. But the gratitude. I love when people can raise their vibration, raise their thought process, reconnect to God, however you want to see it. Being grateful and bringing that gratitude in really does change who we are, like on a cellular DNA level. So share with us some of your tools, because you have an arsenal of them that you use for yourself. And I know from knowing you this long, about 5 years, I know when my Vic is, going through something and when you're not. And it's okay because it all looks beautiful to me because I see how you're moving through stuff. And we all do it. You see my stuff, just because we're here talking and sharing this, we're doing it to help elevate people, not to say, oh, look at us, we have our life together.
Duh.
So, it's like, so let's get into the gratitude and the tools and that kind of stuff. What do you do? I know what you do, but share with us what you do.
I would say accountability is a big, big one for me. I have been divorced from my kid's dad for 8 years, and I don't know if you saw, but I had posted on Facebook that after all these years, I was focusing on the things that he did that really just not cool, right? Like just not cool during the marriage and after. And then something has been waking up in me in the last 6 months or so. So just a couple weeks ago, I texted him and said, oh, and by the way, we only text if we have to because we're doing kid drop-offs and stuff. It's like technical stuff. I texted him and said, are you going to the kids' choir concert, my 15-year-old twins? And he said, I didn't even know about it. And why do you ask? So, well, there's a concert on Friday, and I asked because I wondered if you would sit by me. And it was like, I can almost feel the confusion going on with him. And
because he hasn't done the work that you've done.
Well, no, and he hasn't, he's experienced glimpses of kindness of me, but not this outward, not so much. I'll drop off a Christmas gift here and there and little things like that. But, and he was pretty funny. He actually joked with me back and said, well, if you don't bring a boyfriend. I'm like, what? Like, that was such a funny,
that is.
We don't joke around, but I guess we do.
Yeah.
And so I just said back, well, as long as, are you saying that 2 boyfriends is not okay? Because is that going to be a problem for you? And he just made goofy face. And I said, I'll send you the information and I'll save a seat for us. And you know what? I would say if I had a tool, it's to choose out of awkwardness. Choose out of awkwardness. If you feel this draw to reach out to someone and say, man, I appreciate you. You don't need to know them. It could be someone at whatever, coffee shop. It could be someone on Facebook. But choose out of that this weirdness or awkwardness that we place upon ourselves. Now, had I been playing in that world, there's no way I would have reached out to him. Mm-hmm. And when it actually happened, the night of the concert, I decided, Vic, no, okay, let's just pretend none of all that past happened. How would I treat this guy if he were a stranger? I would be friendly, nice, probably complimentary. So I did. I freaked him out again because I complimented him. He had grown out a little bit of his beard, and I said, "You look great." And he was like, "Really?" His soft side started to come out. Yeah. We spent the whole time either kind of whispering to each other or, the intermissions, kind of chatting. And he started sharing some vulnerable things about his journey, and I was like, "So he's human? Wow, come on, Vic, of course." And it's been great since, actually.
That's awesome. You fell in love with him at one point, so it makes sense, doesn't it? And that's a really good example because when we go back to somebody that we once loved, and we fell in love with, we once loved, that love is still there. I like to say love is still there, it just changes form. So as you were saying before, it changes from the romantic into the friendship or into the admiration of, oh, I really admire that person. They may not be right for me right now in my life, but I still hold love there and I still hold admiration.
Yeah, absolutely. I just had another thought for you, another tool, and I'm going to totally challenge you on it. Ready?
Okay.
So far, everybody that has known that I've been doing this, it's like, ooh. Yeah, so here's what I've been doing.
Okay, I'm not like everybody. Come on, lay it on.
I know, that's why I have been going through my past to anyone I have any off feelings with at all. This includes the guy that this wasn't too long ago, who kind of wanted to date me, and I admit it, we kissed, and turns out there was another girl, and I'm thinking they were broken up, but not. Her and I had lunch. Um, she was very, very mad when she figured out our little 4-day relationship that we were building, and then we just cut it off. But in her mind, I could look like a total threat. But I reached out to her on Facebook and said, there is something about you that resonates with me, and I love, like, I just think you're fun, and I would love to get to know you. I just am feeling this vibe. Are you open to grabbing some lunch? And awesome to her and good on her. She said, yep, let's do that. And we had a beautiful open conversation. There was a lot of miscommunication. She had nothing against me. I certainly had nothing against her. Didn't even realize she was actually in the picture till after. But even so I have been going through my past. And here is a tricky one. There were some people that I really that I have pushed away, men. And that was, embarrassing as it is, that was because I was ashamed that I even dated them. I felt like, I can't believe dated someone like that, like this total hippie type, or, doesn't know how to make any money, or kind of acted like he was 13 instead of 35, or, at the time I was dating him, and all this. And I just, I reached out to this one in particular. I said, hey, it's been 7 years. You've been trying to reach out to me, and I know I've been ignoring. Are you open to chatting with me? And he said, yes. So I met up with him and said, I am so sorry. I was so judgmental. I wanted you to dress like me. I still had all my masks on, my emotional masks of how I wanted people to perceive me. And he was not that. Did he serve other areas in my life? Like, he was super fun. He was great with my kids, absolutely. But I was really focused on some of this other stuff. And I ended up being ashamed that I dated him, and therefore I pushed him away. So think about people that you're kind of embarrassed by. You're not so proud of that. Maybe it's a one-night stand, or any person that you have, any of that ick energy, could be a whole list of reasons. For me, I noticed there were 2 people that I was ashamed. One of them where there was an emotional affair, and that I was so ashamed of myself for doing that. It was decades ago, but right, we hold on to this stuff. I was so embarrassed that I had done that, and I pushed him away. It's not like he was trying to hit on me, but he was certainly like, hey, can we at least be connected through whatever, Facebook or something? I was like, get away, or I blocked him, or reached out to him as well. And I said, hey, I wanted you to know that I haven't been talking to you because I was ashamed, and I projected that onto you. And so I've run out of people that I have any. There were like maybe 4. So that's probably maybe not too bad considering I'm 42.
Yeah,
but
that's great, honey.
It was not. It wasn't easy at first. So there's my challenge. You might have an ex-husband.
I like what you're saying.
And have a chat with them about your accountability.
Yeah.
And then show them gratitude. Tell them what was great for you. It's changed, and my kids are seeing the results of going to that choir concert. Oh, when I showed them the text, I said, who do you think these texts are to? And one of them was like, I don't know, like a new boyfriend or something. And I was like, and the other one did see his name like at the very top, even though I was trying to hide it. And she said, that must be a joke between you and Dad, or some other girl that he's dating is responding for him. Oh my gosh, like, that's how distant they knew that we were, and so how healing, for the kids. Like, even though I don't trash talk him, they sense distance. They don't see us excitedly going to family things and saying hi.
Right.
They can feel that, right? Even though we're not talking trash. So, yeah, have fun, but dig into it.
Well, you know what you're saying? It's really amazing because it really is, like you said, self-responsibility. It's cleaning our garbage. It's cleaning that toilet paper off our shoe
Yep.
and putting it in the right receptacle where it belongs. And the amazing thing that comes out of that is really brilliance. I've been having this weekend, it was so strange. I took a girlfriend to the airport and I decided that I would watch her dogs and stay at her place. And turns out I'm highly allergic to them. I woke up this morning fully swollen.
Oh,
But the thing is I was out there, part of the story is I was out there and I said to my ex-husband, hey, you want to grab coffee and talk about the kids? And it wasn't about the kids, but, connect. We hadn't done that in probably 2 years because his life was bringing me stress and I was just like, back off. We're not friends anymore. I can't live this life. And we had the best conversation. It went into family, his, mine, ours. Did you just hear that? Ours? That was really a beautiful feeling. And I called him this morning to see how he was because I had a feeling that maybe things weren't right. He wasn't working today. He's in the movie business and he had today off. So it was really incredible because that was clearing, like what Vic is saying, it's clearing garbage. I had a friendship with a long-term male friend, and I wrote him probably about 6 weeks ago, and I just said, I'm writing here in forgiveness for myself for what had happened to us. And it turns out now we're friends. It's like...
you're already doing this.
Yeah. Well, when we love ourselves, we learn, and the word that you said that's vital here is self-responsibility. I love self-responsibility because it really brings in clarity. People run from it because they don't want to see what's happening, but it brings in clarity to our life. It brings in smoothness. It has us understand, and most of the time we see where we are wrong. So... And then that brings in more love and more gratitude. Okay, now we're going to be running out of time here because me and this girl just love to share stuff. So a few things before we get to, and I'm not sure if I asked you ahead of time, and a lot of people are going to be going, what, Mia? Your free gift, but I know you have them, and I know you love to give. But one thing that really touches me about there's several things about the way you express gratitude that I've never seen other people do. Is you go for a drive in the beautiful mountains in Utah where you live. Mm-hmm. That centers you. Let's talk briefly about how centering brings us gratitude as well. What do you get from that time that you spend with you in the beauty? And we can find it everywhere, at the beach, at a park, whatever we have that we can connect to. We may not have, the 7 wonders of the world all in one place like you do, but what does that do for you? Because there was a moment that you chose to do that for gratitude.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's so much a part of my life, I honestly didn't even think to bring it up as one of the tools. Don't you find that there's something so connective about nature? Like right now, a storm is coming in. But to me, when I'm looking at the trees out the window and taking in that there's something so much bigger than me, right? Bigger than my problems, and it grounds me. And I won't come home until I'm in that space of peace. So it usually doesn't take too long. But, sometimes I'm having a great day, and it's actually just a celebration, to get out there. The top down in the car and, music blasting. And, I honestly think there's something about singing and dancing as well. If I was going to throw in another tool.
I want to first say that what you're doing with nature is filling your soul. You're filling your soul up because sometimes we get depleted. Not that our soul is depleted, but our spirit is. So we're filling ourselves back up, and that's what you're doing. Okay, the dancing and the singing, because this is my thing too. This is why I love this girl. Okay, you put this on Facebook, and I'm like, yeah, this morning I was dancing in the store in front of the eggs.
Yes. My favorite's the produce section because you have a little more room, Yeah, they put, some of my old 80s and 90s music nights on a Sunday night or whatever. But, singing and dancing in the car and doing it unapologetically. Like, who cares what anybody else is thinking? Like, this has been a big shift for me to not live for everybody else. You know, I could have just as well, and this is very new for me, but I could have just as well had the ponytail and been in a t-shirt. And it's more out of respect to you that, you know, I did my hair, because I am at this really awesome point in my life where, like, it's just, you're going to hear my message no matter what, you know, and you're going to either feel my love or you're not. And it just doesn't matter if I have makeup on or what I'm wearing or what I'm driving. So dance and sing apologetically, you know, while you're driving. It's made it so I don't care about traffic anymore, if you can believe that. And there is a lot of traffic here, unfortunately. I left LA thinking, oh, Utah, it's not going to be all this traffic. Yeah, it's absolutely packed now. But I have learned to enjoy it. And I don't know, maybe there's other people judging or maybe not. Actually, when I'm with my twins and one of them's in the passenger seat, they will notice other people. You know, teenagers, they're still more paying attention to what other people are thinking. And so they have let me know. They'll, like, elbow me, and we'll see a guy right next to us who's, like, doing this too. He's like, or he'll be like, yeah. And so actually I find that there's more support than we might think. And anybody that's judging you, I would imagine they're jealous because they're just not there yet to be themselves.
You know, one thing that you said about dancing and singing unapologetically, when I left my husband after a lifetime, literally, I had been married to him for more than half my life at that point, more than half my life. I totally had to recreate myself. And part of me was listening to music that I had denied myself for years. And not that it was his fault, anything, you know, it's just me. And so I had found that is such a icebreaker with people, being who you are, allowing your body to move. Don't feel weird if that's really who you are, because there are many times we move and we don't even realize it. You know, I started dating an amazing guy because I was just so free-spirited. So just be you and allow it to pour through, because those who don't like it, it's okay. They're not going to be in your life. And those who love it, love you for you. And there's also one more thing that you do that we have to get through, because it's changed my life, and we are out of time, but we're going to keep going. It changed my life in the fact that I started doing this. I copied Vic, which is okay.
Principles in excessive amounts?
You started doing this, and I noticed it, and you explained it to me that you reach out to people, or you reach out to them all the time. But when you were in a bad space, you would reach out to people. I started doing that. Not that I'm continuously in a bad space, but there was a short time, like 24 hours, where I allowed myself to be in that space. And I started reaching out to people and saying, what can I do for you? Do you want to share just briefly about how you came up with that? That's a gratitude thing. What can I do for you? You're stepping out of your own BS. And you're opening up love for someone else.
Yeah, I just did a 30-second, one of my how to get out of your crap in 30 seconds or less videos on that today.
Oh, wow.
I wasn't feeling well. And so I could sit and mope about how I didn't feel well and my stomach hurting and everything. And then I realized that my friend was in way worse shape than me, as far as how he was doing and how he was feeling over the weekend. So I just checked in with him, asked him how he was doing, and it was so interesting because my stomach ache and this heaviness I had this morning, it started going away, and I became aware of it, and then I shot my own little video just saying, holy cow, one way to get out of your crap in 30 seconds or less is to focus on how you can serve someone else or just ask them how they're doing. We can't not be in despair and in love at the same time. So if you can step out of your despair and step into love, guess what? You know, this takes a back burner and this takes the front. And I physically, and even just chatting with you, like I am feeling better physically. So yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah, well, thank you for being you. You want to share your free gift with us, and then we'll say goodbye to everybody?
Yeah, I think you'll like the free gift. This is a video of me taking you through how to go from fear into excitement.
Mm.
So if anything in your life, from job, stepping it up in a job situation, opening your heart to love, I have figured out a process and some tools to get you, and I work on it myself too, because I certainly have fears, and how to shift that into excitement, because it's on the same level. So that's I believe it's like a 8-minute video. You want to get pen and paper, and then you're going to do homework and get out in life and practice how to get into excitement and out of fear.
That's awesome. Thank you, sweetheart. It was lovely to have you here. Do you want to leave us with one last thought?
Yeah, I love you.
Me or everybody? All of us!
Everybody. And people think that's weird about me, but I just say to them, I don't need to know you to love you. And I truly don't. So any of your people or you can reach out to me. I had a weird comment by someone saying, why are you so easily accessible? Like, because I care. Like, you're so busy and you do all this stuff in video, and why are you talking with me, little old me, a guy from Kansas? Because you matter. You matter. I'm going to take some time.
Why? I just have to stop here and say, why do people do that? They're belittling themselves. They're devaluing themselves by saying that, because they are just as important as we are. You know, I've had people say, oh, I don't mean to take your time. I know you're so busy. Well, heck, if I'm talking to you, I got the time, because I'm here for you. So that's beautiful that you brought that up, because...
Well, they've had an experience, though, of people being too busy, or they're too important, or they're celebrity-like, or they're public figures. And certainly it can feel like there's, they can certainly come off like there's no time. But I've seen a few really neat ones who make the time to respond back to fans and all that.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful too. So those people I'm inspired by.
Awesome.
But, yeah. So that's my last thing is I love you even though I don't know you.
I love that. Thank you so much for joining us. It was awesome.
It was so fun. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.